How does this work?
Are you right, mate? You need to be retrained after your holiday? Or do you know
I
what
do
you're
need to go through a extensive retraining program.
Do you know you're still in holiday mode or what?
I need a holiday from my family.
Really?
It's a long time to be together.
Was it really? Yeah, okay.
I love them dearly. We had a great time.
Yeah.
No, we did.
He's happy to be back in the office.
I rushed to the office. I came home, unpacked, showered, and came straight to the office.
Did you really?
Well, I had to work. I had Buddy 9 news that day.
Had commitments, yeah.
And then Samsung in the afternoon. So they knew, but they knew.
Mate,
I was
you hit
working.
the ground running.
Mate, it's the best way to get
your
through
out
it.
of office says you're out back next week.
Yeah. So that's a handy tip for people with your out of office. Buy yourself an extra day or two.
But people are going to be hearing this on Thursday.
Yep.
So they're seeing you're back. Look, that's not a hologram.
I'm back.
It's Trevor.
It's me.
He's
it's really
back.
Me. I'm back.
So
thanks, Val.
Thanks to Val for
the Canadian Trev just did a great job.
Our bloke off the bench did a good job.
Jeez,
I hope you guys enjoyed the shows.
Somewhere, I stumbled across a video of Val. He was doing a little drone or something. He's out. He's wearing like a tank top. He's got his guns out.
We spoke about that last week.
Did you really?
The hover drone.
Oh,
the hover drone.
No, did you talk about his video?
I never mentioned his physique or his how he did the little video, but he did mention he went jogging. And
there's a lot of flexing going on in that video, Val. Just so you know, mate. We get it. You're a good-looking man.
Yeah, mate. Okay? Good-looking rooster, Val.
You got the guns.
And he can pull off the singlet better than we can at this point.
I could hide guns under what I've got. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, mate, I appreciate it, Val.
Thanks a lot, Val.
I haven't listened, but I'm sure it was good.
It was cracking. 2 cracking shows, yeah. Historic shows without Trev's voice in them. First ones. But he's back now. The big fella's back.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Episode 681 coming up soon. But I didn't miss you, Stephen. No, we'll talk about that in the private. I think I did message you a few times just to stay in touch.
I didn't message you. Your name dropped me in a couple of social media posts that I had to respond to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in the private. That's
yeah. But and we will talk about it in private. But I did go 2 weeks without using Instagram, which was pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's a big achievement for me.
So you mean not actually opening the app because you were meta? You were very meta central.
Asterisk. There was a couple of times I had to. I had to do a promo for Channel 9 that I had to post, and with the video that you're referring to, I had to post that as a reel, so I shared that. But I didn't look at comments. I look at my DMs. It was a pretty wild Tuesday, reading all the messages and not knowing what they were for because they were from 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah, right.
Okay. But yeah.
Was your family looking at Instagram?
Yeah, all the time.
They were all in, mate.
Yeah, I took film photos of them all just on their phones, going, "Oh, I'm being good." But that wasn't a requirement of the trip for them to get off Instagram.
But now, so you've proven you can do it.
Yeah,
and you've proven you can go on a ride too. So baby
we'll
steps.
get to that. Do you know what I did this morning or last night? I realised because you're famous in my world. You're famous for not having many notifications and for putting your phone on silent.
Yep.
When you don't want it on.
Yep.
I put my phone off silent for the first time in like 2.5 weeks, and it binged, and I went, "Oh my God, how annoying is that?" Just one message.
Yeah,
one message came through, and I was annoyed.
I only get the only notifications I've got turned on my phone are messages, so text messages, WhatsApp. That's it. Phone calls.
Arlo also.
Yeah, I have Arlo turned on as well, but I do like to keep it at the arm home.
Shout out to Arlo, just
arm
quietly.
Home. So I can get the notifications, but I've got to go in and find them.
So the thing that I
you got the same as me.
I've got
arm home.
I've got the widget.
Arm home
widget on the home screen.
Okay.
Which is highly recommended because you can have it on your home screen of an iPhone.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, good
so,
idea.
because this was the only screen I had. All my other apps were disappeared.
Yep.
So during family holiday, I had a focus mode on the iPhone.
Okay.
And so that was the only screen that I had, and so I could because the thing about the Arlo is, with great respect, it always reverts back to the schedule. So even though I want to be on armed, you can't say I'm on holidays, just be armed for the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
So every day, at like midnight, I'd have to put it on arm home because it'd wake up and go.
I normally do it. I normally keep it on armed home so that I'm not getting the notifications. It's still recording everything, and I can go in and see it. But I'll sometimes switch to get the notification for that sometimes. Yeah.
But there was a point where Amanda goes, it's apparently really bad weather back home. Is the house still there? And I'm like, I'll check. I opened up the Arlo, sent her a screenshot, said, babe's still
Fantastic.
there. House is still there.
Yeah.
Except for the day before we left, a huge branch of that tree fell.
Ooh.
Like like a huge branch. If the car had been parked on the street, it would have absolutely smashed the car.
Wow.
And it's so big, it took 4 of us to pull the branch up onto the verge of the house.
Wow. Ring the council, mate. Get them to
Council,
tidy it up.
It's our tree.
I know, but isn't it? Oh, so it's on your property.
Our land, yeah.
So it's not on your.
We've had that argument with the council already. But I sent an email the night before.
Well, you need
left.
to talk to an arborist.
Well, no, we've got an arborist, good mate.
Yeah.
But and I said, mate, just come rip it down. He goes, you need to get council permission. So I sent it. I paid $200 to lodge a request for the council to, take the tree away, come and check it, whatever, and just to approve me taking it away. The email I sent, well, the start of the thing was, just so you know, by the time you read this, I've already had the tree removed because it's too dangerous. I haven't actually, but I was just that angry.
Yeah,
because it could have hurt my wife. Someone. If Amanda was parked on the, our place has got double driveway.
Yep.
She was on the side instead of the main part of the driveway, and she was just pulling out the dash cam, caught the tree falling.
Yeah, I remember you saying
that. If she had been the other way, it would have fallen on her.
Wow,
that's
dangerous, mate.
But I paid $200, mate. We've been away for 2.5 weeks. Haven't heard from the council.
Really?
I paid $200. Answer your friggin' emails.
You think they would have got action that straight away, wouldn't you? They're like,
unbelievable.
It's dangerous.
Thing is, as Amanda points out quite rightly, because she used to work in local government area, they get an email a day from people wanting to remove trees because it's dangerous or whatever, but they just really want the tree gone. Yeah, this is dangerous. I've paid thousands of dollars to have that tree dead wooded over the years, which is have someone come up and take the bits that are likely dangerous.
Yeah,
I love the tree. I passionately love the tree. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
but it's dead. You can see from the inside of the branch that it's got a rot. It's called heart rot. I diagnosed it using ChatGPT.
Not termites.
No. I took a photo of the snapped bit, like the inside of the branch, which is, by the way, this big, huge branch.
Wow.
And I took a photo and said, can you, by looking at this photo, tell me why this branch broke? And it said it's most likely got heart rot. I went, oh, wow, ChatGPT, diagnosed.
Yeah. So, time for the council to get their act together.
Anyway, that's a story and a time for another day. And the private feed will be a fun one this week because I'm sure we'll recap everything that's happening with the Rabbitohs.
Yeah. Thanks,
Too
mate.
soon?
It is too soon.
Okay.
They're going to bounce back, mate. It's only early days.
Okay. The Panthers will not.
Yeah, Panthers.
I've looked at the ladder. They're not going to bounce back.
Yeah, tough
Funniest thing that happened, in fact, on the trip, last thing I'll say before we start the show, and Amanda loves geeing me up. She's on the phone to her mum and dad the other day as we were driving back from the airport. She's going,
Sharks.
yeah, Trev was annoyed because he didn't get recognised anywhere for 2 weeks.
Oh.
Anyway, so we're on the plane. We're sitting on the plane, United, at LAX. And there's a bloke walking down the aisle with a Tigers jumper on. And I said to Jacko, how are the Tigers going? He goes, they're going pretty good. I went, okay. The kid crying, screaming like bad. I felt bad. Anyway, the dad walks past, the kid's screaming, being a pain. And the dad's in my aisle and he goes, mate, it's because he wants to be a Roosters fan. I don't know why I said that because Jackson was sitting there. And he goes, yeah, Channel 9 Blake. I went, oh no, I've just sledged a guy and been recognised at the same time.
He's coming after you.
Yes, exactly. And Jackson goes, why'd you say Roosters? I went, I don't know. I couldn't think of another team at the instant.
Mate, Rabbitohs, mate. Throw the Rabbitohs in there.
Anyway, poor bloke. Tigers fan.
Well, the Tigers won. They had a great
I know. Well, that was
the
the problem. I said to Jacko, the problem is they're doing okay.
They're doing well. Yeah, they beat the Sharkies the other day. They beat. Is Amanda still a Sharkies fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For life, mate.
Beat her.
Unlike me, she's a Sharkies fan for life.
There you go.
All right. Thanks for enjoying our dribble. It's time for this.
Welcome to Two Blokes Talking Tech.
Not a bad price.
With Trevor Long from EFTM.com.
Really handy device.
And Stephen Fennick from techguide.com.au.
Episode 681. Yes, 680 and 679 weren't the best, but the A team is back, folks.
They were cracking shows.
Were they?
Yeah. No, we had a good flow, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. We recorded it at my place.
I've had a few emails.
Yeah, so
I've had none. I've had no emails. I've had no emails.
Yeah,
Val nailed it.
We carried the torch, mate. Don't worry.
The third bloke stepped up beautifully.
Oh yeah, no, it's good. He's a good man, Val. He's one of us.
I tried to organise lunch, but we're all so busy. I couldn't.
Yeah, I know,
it's probably going to be in July.
Can't give away a lunch. We're trying to shout him lunch.
It's going to be July before we can get together. So we will though.
But no, thanks again to Val. But the big fella's back.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you also to Netgear, who provide great wireless products to your home. And if you need wireless networking in your home, Netgear have got you covered. And Arlo, who we just mentioned, for all your home security as well. So you got networking, you got security, you got it all covered with our great sponsors who've been with us for 600 plus episodes.
Quite a while.
You know, loyalty
when
matters.
You're on a good thing,
stick to it.
That's it.
Yeah, except when you take a couple weeks off. Anyway, while I was away, you had to endure electioneering.
Yes.
And one of the things that I started getting comments about as soon as I turned my phone back on basically was election text messaging. And there's a few angles to this that I think it's worth covering for people because people are really angry about it. And it's mainly because of the Trumpeter Patriots, Clive Palmer's party.
I'd love to know their spend in this election because you can't turn the TV on for 5 minutes without seeing, and I even know her name now, Sue Ellen Wrightson, who's the head of the Trumpeter Patriots party, without her talking to you on TV. It's every 5 minutes.
Well, I haven't watched TV for 2 weeks, but I had the Today Show on this morning, and I saw the ad twice.
It would have been every ad break, twice in some ad breaks.
Right.
Mate, he would have spent tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, well, he spent
Clive Palmer
he spent like $100 million last election.
Yeah, there you have it. Yeah.
Like, how much money have you got to just throw it away?
Well, he's a multi-billionaire.
But in terms of return on investment, I mean, SMS messaging is a genius form of advertising. It's cents to send a message. Now, the first thing we need to talk about is why and how they're allowed to do it, and secondly, how they get your number, right? So let's deal with the first part. There's something very interesting about these messages, and you'll notice this when you compare them to JB Hi-Fi or Officeworks, whoever else might send you a message. There's no stop to stop receiving. Yep. There's no link to opt out, and that's
which is law, isn't it?
There is a law, and it's like a 20-year-old law, the Spam Act, that requires Australian companies to have an opt-out in their emails and their SMS messages so that a consumer who does not want to receive commercial messages can opt out. So if I send in a message saying I'm giving away a car, EFTM, click here, I have to say reply stop to unsubscribe or click here to unsubscribe.
Yep.
If I do not, I could be fined hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yep.
And it's happened. Like Telstra, I think, got fined a few months ago for an email one. It's absolutely happened where lots of companies have been fined big numbers for failing to provide the unsubscribe. There is no unsubscribe because, get this, folks, when the Australian Parliament got together and said, let's create an anti-spam act, should there be any exemptions, Stephen, from your side of politics?
Yeah, us.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Let's exclude us from the legislation. So political parties are exempt from the spam legislation that exists in this country.
Can you believe it? The spam legislation that they created, but they exempted themselves from.
Mate,
irony
is a G up
at its best.
It is a G up.
Yeah.
And that's why.
I was talking with John Stanley and I on the other night. We're chatting about this too, and it's a red hot topic with a lot of people out there because a lot of people are worried. Oh, how'd they get my number? Like what the hell? Why? And I suspect that they we're going to discuss how they probably got your number, but could they have just generated randomly, just sprayed them out?
Yeah. So,
or is that how it works?
I've said to people, look, there's 3 core ways that you get someone's you SMS someone. Firstly, it's a number. Okay.
Yeah.
You remember Hamish and Andy on their drive show? I don't know if you used to listen. I used to listen all the time. They play a fun game where they would just ring a random number. Yeah. So they would go 0418 and then Hamish would pick 3 numbers and Andy pick 3 numbers. They ring someone. They try and have fun with that person, right? They would just ring a random number.
Pick up,
There's a high likelihood someone's going to pick up. So that's one way of doing it. You just literally input random numbers.
Which is, by the way, how scammers would do it.
Correct.
Spammers and scammers would do the same thing.
I know that because sometimes Victoria will get a spam phone call, hang up, and then Harry will get the call because they've got consecutive numbers.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that happens, right?
Wow.
So yes, it's possible that they've done that. But it would be the least cost-efficient way because you're spamming without any real knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So the second way is there's data companies who'll sell your data. Now, you don't know that your data is available, but trust me, it's available. Yeah. You signed up to some mailing list, you signed up to some credit card, something at some point, you didn't read the fine print. They're selling your data. So there are companies, websites, there are services you've signed up to that are selling your data.
So when we say your data, we're talking
your name, your phone number, your
name,
postcode.
phone number, address, and so we're not talking your passport number or Medicare card number.
We're just talking about
this is your generic. What would be on an envelope if it's addressed to you, or your phone number.
If you launch a new business in the postcode 2137, I don't know where that is, but if you launch a new business, I guarantee you can go online and find a company who will sell you a database of people's email addresses or phone numbers who live in that postcode.
Yeah.
And you can then market to them.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's a marketing tactic, right? Yeah. Is it a smart one? Not always, because a lot of people hate SMS. A lot of people hate it.
I don't know whether this is... I remember when I first received it, I'm thinking, okay, that's surprising. And I've had about 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
And my wife has not had one.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, well, I just jokingly said, well, I'm obviously a high value target, and she said, yeah, whatever, and I said, well, look, you're lucky. I'm the one who's getting pestered by these ads.
Yeah.
The reaction we had on the radio the other night was one of like outrage. People were outraged that they received these messages, and how dare they? So my thinking is, my question is, why would you risk the potential for it to backfire?
I'll tell you why. I don't think it's going to change a vote backwards. So I don't think it's going to annoy a Trumpeter Patriots voter to the point where they're not going to vote for them.
Right.
Whereas there's obviously a percentage chance that it's going to swing someone across.
Yeah, maybe.
It's going to annoy a Labor voter. Yes, it's going to annoy a Teal or a Liberal even. But
if you're undecided.
All they can do is whinge.
Yeah.
All they can do is whinge. Okay. They can't actually do anything about it. Whereas if you're undecided or one of these messages are going to get through to you, then that's worth the risk, right?
Do you recall? I'm trying to remember which election. Wasn't the one before that where Bill Shorten was up against Morrison?
Do you 2016.
Remember? Yeah, do you remember that when I think Labor was sending out the Mediscare
on the last day?
Yeah, and that blew up in their face, I think.
Well, yeah. And look, this is the third way they get your number. Now,
Trevor tells them.
If your local member, and I know this very intimately. I know this very well.
Yeah.
If your local member sends you a letter, because they've got budget to send letters out to their constituents.
I've had a few from mine.
And it says, hey, we're just looking to find out what's of interest to our constituents. Fill in this survey. Fill out a form, or you go online and you say, I'm really worried about cost of living, and da-da-da-da-da, and then you put your phone number in. That's going to the Liberal Party or the Labor Party. That's going into their database.
Yeah.
That is being collected. So when you sign up to say, I wish there was a toilet at my local park, and your local member's fighting for you, and you fill in the little form, mate, you're giving them your data.
So
they are collecting that.
Are you saying that it's the sitting member goes into say like my seat, I'm in a Labor seat. If I'd sent that, the Labor get my number. They're not going to share that with the Liberal Party, are they?
No. Right, the Labor Party and the Liberal Party have
their own
enormous databases.
Of course they do. Yeah.
Enormous databases.
But I think let's talk about the pros of doing this. The pros would be targeting people. Is that right? So targeting different seats and different
to be able to
areas.
Say that, I just want to blast everyone in this postcode is huge.
Yeah.
Now, I got some telemarketing phone calls, like, political surveys.
Really?
Early on in the campaign when it just launched. I full disclosure, my stepsister works for my local member as well, and my wife used to work for the local member in state politics, so that's why I have a bit better knowledge. But when I got these telemarketing calls, I'm thinking, I hit record on the iPhone because you can record the call and get a transcript. So I was able to send the transcript to my stepsister and say, this is definitely not your bloke, because I can tell by the questions that it's the independent that's asking all these questions, right? You got to have money, and so someone's funding it. Now, even the Trumpeter Patriots they've got to be spending money to send these text messages. But that's why I think the Liberal and Labor Party aren't doing it as prolifically, because I think they know it can be a bit more jarring. They've got more risk of annoying people than I think the minor parties.
Well, I think, Trumpet, it's sort of any news is good news kind of thing, where any reaction is good reaction.
Everyone clicks on their
website. My
My
latest Trumpet text message, which came at 12:04
12:04, I got the exact same time.
You don't need to be welcome to your own country, 3% home loans, vote 1 Trumpeter Patriots, and there's a website. Have you clicked through to the website?
No, I'm not giving them the pleasure.
Authorised by H. Fong from the Trumpeter Patriots.
Here's the great thing. In their defence, I now know I've got 5 messages, and I know several of their campaigns. I know several of their policies. I don't know
which they've repeated ad infinitum on TV.
Those ads.
Yeah.
Now
I could rattle off their policies.
The funny thing is this: in this case, the Trumpeter Patriots specifically, H. Fong, the Trumpeter Patriot, it's got to be authorised by someone.
Yep.
Online, a lot of people have looked this guy up and they've found him, and so they've published his phone number. I tried to ring it, and it just goes to voicemail now. And it can't, and it won't accept voicemails.
Hello, is that Mr. Fong?
Because you can't reply to these messages.
Yeah, I know.
They'll just be undelivered.
They just bounce back. Yeah, I know.
And
I tried to look at the number. It's got a name, not a number.
Yeah, that's right.
And you look at the number, and it just comes up. Hang on, let me get to my message. You click on the name, and it just says hide alerts. That's it.
Yeah,
so you can actually hide it. That says
sorry. So I can send
info
in my SMS. This is my SMS tool that I use to send SMSs to people. I can choose when I want to send it.
So when you want to spray out a few
when I want to
SMSs.
send an SMS, one or otherwise, I can choose to send it from an alpha tag, which is EFTM. So just type your phone number in there, Stephen.
Why?
I just want to demonstrate to you, you gibberer.
Whereabouts?
Just type. No, just type, mate.
Oh.
Yeah. So I can demonstrate that you don't need to show a number. I can just. So that's your number there. Hi, you are. No, I won't say that. On a podcast, but I can't send it without a. When I do preview and confirm, it'll actually say to me, I think on this one. Oh no, it might not.
Hide your number.
It sent it. No, it sent it automatically. Just it didn't.
Oh, here we go.
It didn't require me to send a
From EFTM.
an opt out because I wasn't doing a bulk one.
You are on a podcast. No opt out. I'm taking this. I'm going to report EFTM to your
But click on the
authorities.
name and there's no number. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's why it's
there
not
you
a
go.
number. It's an alpha
Right,
tag.
Right.
That's what's called an alpha tag.
Alpha tag. EFTM.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
just
by the
say
way,
that's evidence. I'm
I
gonna
could
say that.
change my alpha tag to Trumpeter Patriots. There's no verification. of that.
That'd screw a few people around, wouldn't it?
I mean, imagine wondering what
Just
you
say,
do.
why don't you send them out with Trump and say, listen, vote Labor or Liberal, just forget us. That'd be a good joke.
No one can. Also, click here, EFTM.com. Yeah.
Yeah, click here. Click here to confirm. Wow. Talk about bait and switching, eh?
We're now accepting online voting. Click here to vote.
Yeah.
Imagine that. But look, people are annoyed, and I get it. But there's nothing you can do, folks. I'm sorry. The only
Mate,
way you
it's
can
a
change
tightrope.
this,
You're walking a tightrope.
the
with
only
this.
way to change this
Yeah.
is to get the political parties to change it. Now, if the Teals were smart, they would say, we will, as a
Campaign
group,
to do it.
we
yeah.
will require this to be changed. Because
They don't have the numbers, mate. You
no,
don't have the numbers.
But in politics, it's all about the numbers, right?
Yeah.
So when whoever gets into Parliament wants to pass a law of any sort, the Teals can go, sure, we'll pass it.
As long as you look after
As long
this
as you
one.
do this.
Yeah. What do we get? Yeah. I've watched enough episodes of The West Wing to know that.
Anti-spam regulation.
I'm back in watching that, by the way, The West Wing.
I think it
Loving
would be.
Yeah.
I think it would not win votes, but it would
Yeah.
certainly carry favour.
Well, I reckon if the option was there, it would at least tell them that they respect your privacy, that if you don't want to hear from us, fair enough. But while we got you, here's our policy.
I think everyone would be surprised to know the information
Well,
that
put it this way.
the political parties have about us.
I reckon there would have been less of a fuss about this if there was that opt-out.
Correct.
The reason there's a fuss about it is there is no opt-out. Is that fair to say?
And
the
because
whole point of
because
this,
they're not required to give one. That's
Yeah,
the whole
so
problem.
If they had one, a lot of people just say, okay, no thanks, and then they wouldn't be bothered about it again.
Yeah.
But if they're repeatedly getting the same message or message from the same political party without an out, then we're going to make noise.
Most people are.
Is it that, but they're considering now, we're talking about Trumpeter Patriots on our podcast. Is this the result of their persistence?
Because
we're going to talk about them?
when you send a reply, it just says undelivered. Because I
Yeah.
just sent a reply. I don't know how that works for them.
Okay. I won't read what Trevor wrote there. Maybe on the private feed we'll get away with that.
Yeah, it'll just sit here, and then in
Yeah,
5 minutes
right.
it'll say undelivered because it's not a message. You can't reply to it.
Wow.
But
What a
folks,
tightrope.
If I could argue one thing for you,
Yeah.
this to me is a demonstration of why you need to engage in local politics, not federal politics.
Yeah.
Your local member, the person that is asking for your vote this weekend, is the person you should say, if you want me to like you more, this is the kind of crap you got to get rid of.
This, yeah.
Because look, we could get into this in detail, but if you think about the Trump effect, the drain, the swamp, all that stuff, this is the crap that people hate. People hate that this exists.
Yeah.
People hate that they create an exemption for themselves. So take it away.
Yeah.
What's the problem with taking it away?
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. No.
Keep an exemption in for the Australian government so that if there's a pandemic outbreak, they can just message everyone. Cool, whatever.
course, yeah.
But political parties,
Doesn't the government know our phone number anyway, though? The government knows our phone number.
yeah.
So if there is a pandemic,
That's what I'm saying. You
yeah.
got to
Yeah, fair enough.
you leave an exemption for the anti-spam laws
But
in
you
there.
know, I'm just realising why they call Trumpet of Patriots.
Trump.
And I just realised that the word Trump is in the
You
name.
only just realised that?
No, well, I'm just thinking, is that by association? They
Yes.
want to sort of psychologically...
Correct. Clive Palmer is trying and has been since he started this rubbish.
Really?
Yeah.
Has he admitted that?
Yeah.
He's
I'm pretty
admitted that I'm including the word trumpet because it has the word Trump in it.
I'm pretty sure he has. yeah.
Seriously?
I'm pretty sure he
Wow.
has. Yeah.
Teddy, 10 minutes here. Didn't realise that straight away.
Teddy, 10 minutes.
Yeah, didn't realise straight away. You know, it takes a long time to get a joke. Anyone who doesn't get the joke straight away, I call them Teddy 10 minutes.
Wow.
You're not
Not heard that one.
Okay.
Because I always get the joke.
Yeah, straight away, mate. Yeah, you're pretty savvy like that. But
I'm Larry No Lag.
So you've been away. You haven't heard you haven't watched any of the debates or anything. So you're out of the loop, mate.
Couldn't give a rat's.
Yeah, right.
Safe seat. Couldn't care less.
Yeah,
Going for the sausage.
I'm in a really safe Labor seat. We're in a Labor seat. I know my local member really well. I went to school with him. So, yeah. Who's your local member?
Julian Lisa. Federally.
Liberal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Libs. Yeah, I'm in a safe Labor seat. Matt Thistlethwaite is my local member. Yeah. He's
He'll win.
Old Pagewood Morris boy like myself.
But it is fascinating in some seats. There's a lot of new opposition and independents and all that, so it'll be fascinating to see. But I will say from a technology perspective, bring it back to the show, I haven't, and again, I've been off social media, so I haven't noticed, but I don't know that there's been any great advance in the way that this election has been held in Australia.
I think.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they're courting the youth vote, but I don't think they're treading really lightly on social media. I haven't noticed anyway on Instagram and TikTok and all those other platforms. Hardly any party-led content. There's always been news reports and radio reports that are headlines shared on social media, rather than Dutton out there or Albo out there asking for a vote.
Yeah, it feels like a very traditional campaign, and I think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, it's been. I think it's been about 4 weeks, 5 weeks long, the campaign. Yeah. Just the right length, maybe a touch long for some people. But
I highly recommend taking 2.5 weeks of an election campaign off.
They had 4 debates. It's been pretty solid.
Really?
Yeah, they had 4.
I've missed 4 debates?
Yeah, they had 4. One on
in 2.5 weeks.
So they had one on Sky, one somewhere else, one on 9, and one on Channel 7 the other night.
Right.
Yeah. So they've all had a turn, and yeah, but mate, you hear the same stuff. It's just they go back to the stump speech. So the same things you're hearing over and over again. It's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out. And a lot of people, are you one of these people? Are you an election tragic? You're just going to sit and watch every
because Amanda's pretty deeply invested as well.
Yeah, right.
Well, she's not involved anymore, but I think we're both.
She's both
skin
in the game.
She's skin in the game. We will, Jacko's going to an election party, his girlfriend's family or something like that, right?
An election party.
And Amanda said it's not really an election. It's just an excuse to have a party, right? But Amanda said that would be the worst thing in the world, because I'd be like, shut up, I'm trying to see the... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like if we had people around, I'd be like, guys, shush, I want to listen to this. Or I'm just bringing up... I normally have the computer open, she's got the TVs on, and I'll have all the... I'll have our seat and a couple of the hot
people
suite.
then.
Yeah.
You are?
And I'll have the tally room. I'll be live updating her on the votes.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Long family.
Mate, I'll be drilling down to...
The Long family get their kicks in different ways, don't they?
I will be drilling down to polling booths.
Really?
I'll be looking at our local schools and whether they've swung at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But you're rock solid, aren't you? Liberal
pretty solid, but the local independent, she's kind of done a lot of campaigning.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of phone polls, a lot of billboards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see whether that has an effect or not.
Yeah, any swing against.
That's kind of what we're curious about, is whether or not all this stuff that's been done has any hope of having an effect.
Interesting, yeah. I think my Labor seat's been Labor since Jesus was a boy. It's been a long time.
Same's up here,
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we're not talking politics. We're talking technology.
Two blokes talking politics.
If you're wondering why you're getting SMS messages, because politicians are scum and they exempt themselves from the legislation that allows them to send text messages. Two Blokes Talking Tech. I was just excited that I changed the show.
I'm just thinking back at the start of the show. Did you play the intro?
Yeah, on
it was
video one.
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
You didn't see me do this because I did it properly.
Ah, right. I was distracted. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
So you did that. Okay, cool. Just checking.
Thanks, mate. I really
appreciate
your input. If you're looking for 10% off, I recommend you head to netgear.com.au. And just by signing up to their database and receiving information from Netgear, you get a 10% promo code valid for a one-time purchase on savings of up to $150 on your next networking solution. And networking solutions is what they do best. There is a huge range of Orbi products. There is the wireless and portable Nighthawk mobile product. I took that with me to the States. I've got I've got 2 SIM cards, and actually there's enough room behind the battery to put a bit of sticky tape and keep another SIM card there. So I've got an Australian SIM card and a US SIM card. I just switch them around and I just store it in the back.
Wow.
Which is perfect. So I landed, and rather than paying for hotel Wi-Fi, I just switched it over.
You have more than 2, you got to pay.
And it's never the best. And the hotel Wi-Fi is never the best. So get the best with the mobile hotspot. But if you're looking for Wi-Fi routers, range extenders, mobile hotspots, or mesh, Netgear's got you covered because they've got every single networking solution, and they do it better than anyone else with great prices, great range, and that's what they need. That's what you need. If you want the best networking, you need a good Wi-Fi system to underpin all the cool stuff you're going to do in your home. Future-proof your home with a good Wi-Fi network, and you can do that with the good people at Netgear, netgear.com.au.
I don't think isn't that from the Two Blokes EV? Is that our sting for this show?
I didn't change the show. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, yeah. I'm just wondering if you did play the actual intro before.
No, I did. Yeah, so these are the wrong stings. That's what we're saying.
Can you do that mid-show? Can you change the show mid-show or not? I don't think you can you?
He's
out of practice, folks. So
we need to put a lot of faith in the video recording.
Oh, I'm praying.
All right, I'm going to stop the audio. Okay, this is how it works here, folks. It's just a little thing, but you're right. I didn't change the show.
Yeah, the sting.
I was so excited when I played it that I thought I did it.
I don't remember that.
We don't normally bop along in this show. That's why.
No, because I was thinking, geez, my stings are totally different when I was hosting the show. Because I had to do the stings. I'm thinking, I didn't have that one.
Yeah, no, they should sound like this.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech with Trevor Long and Stephen Fennick.
Are you sure you did the intro, the video intro?
100%.
Are you sure?
Okay,
I must have been asleep for a minute then.
I can hit record now. I'm 100% confident.
Okay, good.
I'm very, very... You were asleep.
You are... Hey.
What about you being asleep?
Hey?
I remember it happening because I remember it didn't mute and I had to come on and it was all good.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, there was a report in the Australian Financial Review while I was away about Hubbl. Foxtel's Hubbl, and the report in the Financial Review from Sam Buckingham-Jones says Foxtel's new owners are reviewing the future of Hubbl, the subscription broadcaster set-top box system that was billed as its new flagship product when it was launched less than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And look, that's very interesting, but I haven't had these conversations yet, but I'll hopefully do so before this show comes out and validate it at EFTM.com. But I'm of the understanding that several people have been let go at Hubbl this week.
Right.
Redundancies are not small.
Really?
Not widespread, but we're talking 5 to 20 people.
Shedding stuff.
Now, right. I'll give them the full credibility they deserve. I reached out to the Foxtel group earlier today and asked for a comment on reports that I'd had about a large number of redundancies. And the comment on the record from a spokesperson at Hubbl is from Foxtel Group, we are maintaining Hubbl, and customer feedback about the product has been very positive. Naturally, having made significant marketing investment to build consumer awareness and establish a market position in its first year, we're now looking at how best to maintain Hubbl as a more mature business within the Foxtel portfolio of products.
Yeah.
So I read into that.
A yes?
We're done.
Well, you mean done completely?
Here's what I think. Here's what I think is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're probably laying off anyone that works on Hubbl. Because remember, they also renamed Stream Motion, which was the company that ran KO and Binge and stuff. They renamed that Hubbl. So the business of Hubbl is actually now far more than just the box.
Yeah.
But let's just talk about the box. Right? The box, I think they'll sell out whatever they've got left.
Yep.
I think the TVs will very quickly disappear from Harvey Norman. And I think that Hubbl will exist as a software platform that allows people who sign up to it to get discounts on, streaming services if they've got multiple ones. Stack and save, right?
But can they do that? But because I'm just the examples I'm going to cite here are Apple TV, a box to get all the multiple apps.
Yeah.
Fetch box, a box to get all the multiple apps. Foxtel IQ, a box to get those multiple apps. So how can Hubbl achieve the multiple app scenario without having a box?
Easy. They just have a website where you go, I want to join Hubbl. I'm willing to pay you $15 a month for Binge, $25 a month for KO. I'm willing to migrate my Netflix subscription here and my Max subscription. Thank you very much. If I could just have one bill. It's a one billing scenario.
Right.
This is...
So it doesn't require... It's not a hardware issue. This is what
Hubbl... It's Optus's Subhub.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
It still exists.
Yeah, no,
it's a software solution.
But you're saying so to access them, because at the moment the convenience of Hubbl is that it's all, you plug the box in, it's all there.
Yeah, but you can still sign on your iPad. You can still sign into your Hubbl account for KO, Binge, and Netflix, and all those things, right? Okay. It's a software platform, and it should have always been. Like Patrick Delaney wasted $100 million on this thing. So it should have always been. Well, if that's the software platform,
why? I know Fetch, they offer TV channels and recording and all that sort of stuff, and so why does Apple TV have an Apple TV then, or why would they? Apple TV sells Apple TV, the actual thing,
because they sell a brilliant user experience.
Yeah, but I know there is an app on. There is an app for Apple TV on your TV, but it doesn't aggregate. As it does for some customers, aggregate Netflix, Stan, Prime. Like in my theatre, for example, right? If I want to watch Netflix, I watch it through Apple TV.
The box.
Yeah. I've got the box in the theatre, and that's what is my path.
That could be a Google Chromecast.
I understand, but
it could be a fetch box.
But I'm saying, so you reckon Hubbl can still continue without the actual hardware and still offer Netflix and access to all those apps just through a software platform?
Yeah.
Right.
And then on your Apple TV... When you sign into Netflix, you just use the email account and password that is your Hubbl account.
That's Hubbl, okay.
But you're saving $5 a month because you're getting a discount.
So you're saying the same, you're still saving money, grouping them, bundling them together.
The only benefit of Hubbl is the stack and save.
Yeah.
It's the only reason you would get one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's the only reason to have it.
Well, they'll argue that the interface sort of helps you
It's a shit interface.
Find your content.
It's one of the worst interfaces in television.
That's subjective. It's
not. It's horrible.
But I'm just saying that it is like your home screen on your television. So if you've got Tizen or LG WebOS or VW, it has that sort of feel to it where, okay, there's this show, and they're all on different platforms, but you're seeing them on the surface rather than having to dive into different apps. That is a strength of Hubbl, I thought too. It's
not a strength. It's the same thing as Fetch has, same thing that Apple TV has, same thing that Google TV has. It's not a unique selling point.
Yeah.
So the only unique selling point. Sorry, there's two. The two unique selling points of Hubbl were the
stack and save,
and free to air via the internet.
Yes.
Which was flawed because not every capital city and regional area actually has. Free to air via the internet.
Well, which is the same thing for Fetch and Foxtel and all these other boxes that have the same feature.
Well, but they only have it because Hubbl did it, and they have the same flawed approach to it. Broadly,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
If you want free to air, just get an antenna, you idiots. Okay, it's that simple.
Not everyone does that. It's the high percentage of people don't have an antenna.
I know,
really high percentage.
I've argued within the industry, and I'm close enough to the industry to argue it. I've argued that the thing they should be doing is making a single button to just launch the live stream.
Yeah.
That was my number one thing I loved about Hubbl was that you could watch the channels quickly and easily. But my point is that I've still got a Hubbl Glass, the TV.
Me too.
It's in Jacko's room.
Me too.
Like they have to support it for a long time. Of
course they do.
They can't. It can't stop working.
Yeah, of course not.
So what I'm saying is they'll get rid of any stock that exists. They'll never order another box from the manufacturer.
Wow.
They won't do any major software updates to it apart from fixes basically.
They'll just maintain it.
They'll maintain it because they have to. And Hubbl, this is why they will always say that Hubbl still exists because Hubbl as a business is now KO, Binge. Lifestyle, Flash. That's what Hubbl is as a business. Okay. And it's a software business. And actually, that's what DAZN is. So DAZN now own Foxtel.
Yeah, that's
the sports
German company.
They own Foxtel. They don't want to be a box group either. They don't want to be a company that does boxes and sending things out to people. What are we sending stuff in the post for? We're a software streaming service. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're the boss of DAZN, you come to Australia and you go, what do you mean we're supporting a physical box? That's stupid. Just give them a username and a password and make it Apple's problem. Make it Google's problem.
Yeah.
Just give them the account and have the app available everywhere.
Okay.
In the same way that you can watch DAZN on
So
Fetch.
you can still save money by stacking, but you just don't have the physical box to do it.
Yeah, and DAZN /Binge /Hubbl /Foxtel, clip the ticket, by signing up customers, retaining customers, by billing customers.
But does the Hubbl glass, does that have an antenna?
No.
Antenna connection? The box does.
Oh. Yes, it does. There is one available.
Yeah, the box
but you don't
does
have
too.
to plug it in.
Yeah. So you're going to go either terrestrial or stream.
Why would you go terrestrial when it's done so well? Unless you're in Perth and you want to actually watch Perth television.
Yeah.
Which isn't available very well on Hubbl.
Yeah, right. I understand. So you reckon there's stay tuned. There's more news to come on this.
I think there's a purge happening. I don't think it'll be a big story because I think Hubbl will continue to exist. I'm not saying Hubbl is closing down.
Yeah.
If you have an existing Hubbl, it will keep working. Yeah. If you have plans to get a Hubbl because you've heard something great about it, get one. But I would suggest you
ads,
get a...
Are there still ads on TV? No. They went pretty hard with
yeah. What does it mean for Hamish and Andy, you know?
Yeah.
But see...
They don't have to give their money back.
No. They're happy. Who cares? They paid for their
banked
houses.
that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's spent already.
That was a huge
Ricky
campaign.
Gervais would say, sorry, mate, money spent already. Remember he did the Optus ad?
Yeah. Well, they were smart. They were very funny ads.
Sorry, money spent.
So, yeah, that's just the way I read the kind of room
You're
on
reading
this.
the tea leaves.
Yeah, I think they're smart because they'll always be able to say Hubbl still exists.
Yeah.
We still support the boxes. But there will come a time, I reckon, when they stop selling them.
Wow.
And that'll be when they sell out of them.
You heard it here first. That's a big
when
claim.
they sell out of them,
really?
they won't bring them in again.
Right. Might be. We should maybe chat to some retailers, see what they think about all this.
Maybe.
See if they're...
I don't think they're selling many Hubbl glasses.
Yeah. Is that exclusive to Harvey Norman?
Yeah. Well, I don't,
but the box is everywhere. You can buy the box on its own.
I think
in JB
$79.
Yeah. 79 or 99?
79 is last I saw.
They've dropped it down. I thought it was 99. But
Mate,
anyway.
people were getting it for 49 when they launched.
Discount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll pay attention to that. We'll see what happens over the course of time. And if you've got any knowledge or experience, just let us know. Keep me in the loop on what's happening with the Hubbl. And let's play an actual Two Blokes sting.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech.
That sounds a bit better. Now, Samsung, and you were fresh off the plane, and you went to Samsung's
House of
Wonder in the town hall.
Yep.
And this was a showcase of their, well, let's say their TVs, appliances, and other products.
Everything.
That was, I think it was a very good demonstration of the new, well, it was our first glance in Australia of the Neo QLED televisions, the 8K and all of that. But it was also a way for them to demonstrate the appliances, the connectivity of the appliances with smart things, and it had a whole home feel to it, which I think was very well done.
It was. Oh, look, is it strange that it was everything?
Well, it was
like
just
often we
TVs
have
and appliances.
I know, but they normally separate them.
Maybe, but
Don't you think?
I think the story is though that it's the House of Wonder, the whole house, and your TV can talk to this and can talk to that, and the appliance can do this and that, and it was, I think, rather than having two separate events, they had one big event to showcase the fact that they're here and available, and they were able to share pricing, but also able to demonstrate the quality, the features, and the connectivity, which they did pretty well. We saw the Neo QLEDs in CES and the glare-free technology we saw on the OLEDs already, which are coming to the Neo QLED range as well. So glare-free.
Like and it's hard to demonstrate to people because you weren't there, but there's these corridors they created of TVs and things, right? But I was standing quite up against the Neo QLED 990F.
Yep.
Which is their biggest. It's their, it's their best. It's their infinity display. It's the modern version of this one in here in the office. Yep. And because I was standing side onto it, I was just glaring at the anti-glare. Mate, I don't know why. If you're given the option, you would not take the anti-glare coating.
You would not take it.
Yeah. So if you're looking at two TVs from two different brands, one has anti-glare, Samsung. Yep. One doesn't. Whoever else you're choosing at a 85 inch or whatever it is. That's I think that's enough to sway me. The anti-glare.
To have it or not have it.
To have it.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, anything that can reduce the distractions. You don't want any distraction from that.
Don't you think just every TV that had glare stood out in that room?
They did, and I think a lot of other companies I think would be looking at perhaps reverse engineering this if they don't already have it. There is already some glare reduction stuff on there, filters already on TVs.
It does nothing.
And look, it's not such a rampant problem that I'm thinking, that
I don't know.
annoys
I
me,
think
you know?
so. Look, stare. It's not no use to the viewer, but stare. You can see that lamp, right,
Yeah,
mate? The glare on that lamp in the far corner
Yeah.
of that TV
you can see the reflection.
is so obvious.
Yeah, true.
If that had the anti-glare coating, it would be
Wouldn't be there.
diffused and
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
I think people don't realise how big a problem
They've
it
just
is.
gotten used to it.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's
true.
like the laptops when you go from having like an Apple Nano texture to not.
Yes.
You're like, oh man, this is completely different.
No, true. Fair call.
I think
Yeah.
it's a. I said to Simon Howe from Samsung, I said, I think it's a really good advantage for them in retail to have a couple of things that are a feature sell. So you're not just saying it's big and it's thin. It's what it's. Well, this one's got an anti-glare coating. And by the way, hey, let me show you the AI, scene selection, stuff like that. Just taking 2 minutes, and we talked about this with the OLED review, but just taking two minutes to go, let me show you how this TV always makes the picture look like how you want it to. And you follow, you basically a 3-4 question survey.
You answer the questions. What looks better?
You customize the picture to how
Which
you
is
want
smart,
it to be.
because picture quality is subjective. Like we
Very much
all
so.
have slightly different tastes on how we like our picture. So there is an auto mode, of course, where it decides for you, but there is the optimization where you can choose that for yourself.
So the anti-glare, to finish off that, is available in any Samsung product with a 9, except the 90F OLED. So it's only the 95F OLED, but any of the LCD displays, QLED,
4K and 8K,
Neo QLED, if they've got a 9 in the product, 95, 950, 990, whatever, they've got the anti-glare.
They've also introduced to the art store. Remember, because you'll notice on the 900, it's got a frame,
It's got a like a metal
so
bezel.
it looks like not quite the same as the frame.
Not
Pro.
removable.
But it has a frame like look to it.
Yeah.
So if you want the 990, that's the Infinity. If you want the 900 with a more arty frame design, you can get that as well. And the art store. So I think on some, there's the art store, but there's also, they've got the Vision AI where you can do generate your own wallpaper on these TVs as well.
Fun.
So you can create your own. And of course, available in the big sizes, including, I think they've got a model coming later, I think in June, a 100-inch model, the QN80F 100-inch Neo QLED 4K is the 100-inch model. Everything else is, the biggest they've got is the 98-inch Neo QLED QN90F, a steal at $11,499.
Just nothing, yeah.
But the dealer, and they've quite obviously stated pricing is set at dealer discretion. So in other words, that could be cheaper in store.
And there will be a 115-inch TV, but that's
second
not
half
until
of the
second
year.
half of the year.
Second half of the year. So the TVs, very impressive. And moving on to the appliances, they had the 2 fridges. Did you like did you see the new family hub? See the size of the screen in the family
huge,
hub? 32-inch screen. It's massive. I did have the 21-inch, I think it was 21-inch. And only recently, my one, I'd had that family hub since 2018. And it was always getting repaired. The ice maker or something would go wrong with it.
Yeah, which, by the way,
which was a common issue.
They've completely fixed in their last 5 years
no,
of generation.
no dramas at all now. But I kept getting it repaired, and the guy said to me, he goes, mate, I can repair this today, but I'll be back in 6 months to fix it again. I'll recommend to them that they replace your fridge, and they did. So I got the four-door French door fridge. And the no display. It's got the beverage centre behind the door, not open. Like mine was open out as well. Yeah. And that's a beauty. Yeah. And it is smart things compatible too, so you get a notification if you left the door open and stuff like that.
The big thing I think for them this year was they got the new family hub with a big screen, but they've also got one with a very small, like it's a 9-inch
the
little
AI
screen,
home screen, yeah,
which is basically a screen they're trying to bring to all their appliances. So it's going to be on one of their washing machines. It's going to be
Well,
this little screen.
I got the heat pump, which has got it.
Heat pump, washing machine, or dryer.
Both.
Dryer.
It's both. Yeah. It's
Heat pump is a technology, not a product.
Yeah, no, but it's the washer dryer.
Yeah,
and that's got that screen on it.
Yeah, and so basically this is a little interface to the smart things.
Some fridges have that little screen on it too. Just it's not like the big family hub style screen, but it's big enough to know that you've something you can look up stuff on your smart things and know if your washing's finished and stuff like that.
Yeah, you've really got to be bought into the ecosystem of smart appliances.
They're making it really attractive to do that, Lo.
It's attractive but expensive.
It's smart. Well, you know what? It's smart if you go down that road, and other brands do this too, right? If you go down that road, you can really round out your ecosystem. So say you've got a Samsung TV to begin with.
Yeah. Then
you might think, well, let's have a look at their washer dryers or their fridge or their bespoke vacuum cleaner. It's that the products are going to talk to each other. Like we got a Samsung TV in our lounge room, and whenever the washing's finished, little top right hand corner says cycle complete.
Yeah,
that it's just one of those little things that you get with that connectivity. And Samsung, they told the story really well yesterday at this event, where the whole house could be more intelligent, can give you back more time, more convenience, and even save you money too with energy reductions and various things like that as well. So it was a good story, well told, I think. And they showed the different scenarios there with you, the movie time.
Yeah.
You just arrive home, you're going to bed and all that. It's pretty cool. They had the washing machine, they had the fridges, they had the 400 watt jet. The stick vac,
Yep.
Which according to them is the most powerful stick vacuum.
It's a big call.
Yeah.
I don't know how to test that theory, but they say on wattage,
Yep.
it certainly is.
On wattage. And they've got the Frame Pro too. So the Frame now has the 4K Neo QLED. We also forgot to mention the wireless One Connect. So no cable to the TV, which LG's had this for a couple of years now. Samsung's wireless Zero Connect box, not One Connect, Zero Connect. All you need, that means where the TV is a PowerPoint.
Yes.
So you'll need obviously a PowerPoint for the box, and also you plug in all your sources at wherever you want that to be. So less clutter at the telly. So I reckon more people would think, well, we should mount it there.
Any Samsung Frame product that is 65 inches or more is now called the Frame Pro.
Frame Pro, yeah. It's got the 4K Neo QLED, and they've all got the wireless Zero Connect as
well. They've all got Zero Connect, yeah.
Mate, the frames are not about TV. 43 inches all the way up to 85 inches now, the frame. And the Frame Pro is at 65, 75, 85.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
Outstanding. And the Jet AI, what is the Jet AI, bespoke AI Jet Ultra, 400 watts of suction power, making it the world's most powerful cordless stick vacuum.
Boom.
There you go. And you know what? There's a little screen on it. I like about it how you don't have to pull the trigger all the time. You just turn it on and you just use it. Some you got to keep holding it in. This one just turns on, and it's got a little digital display to give you, obviously, battery time and all that. But because it's part of the Smart Things ecosystem, if you're getting a phone call, it'll say, "Oh, someone's trying to call you."
So if your phone's in your back pocket,
no excuse to say, "I was doing the vacuuming."
If phone's in your back pocket and you're doing the vacuuming and you don't hear it, or it's in the kitchen, and you look down, this vacuum will actually tell you who's calling on your phone.
There's an incoming call.
That is the answer to a question nobody asked.
Well, you know what? No excuse now. I was doing the vacuuming. I never heard the phone. Liar.
I'd like to know the cost of the device without that feature.
Yeah. Oh, is that an option, or is
no?
Is
but
that
I'm just saying, can we save some money, please?
It's something that let's do it because we can, and that's why they did. That's what they did.
They did.
It's like Apple and Samsung. Let's make a really thin phone because we can.
Fair point. Okay, I'll
that's
pay
what
that.
They're doing.
I'll pay it. You can read more about Samsung's full range of home appliances, TVs, everything at techguide.com.au.
Everything about tech you never wanted to know. This is Two Blokes Talking Tech.
Two Blokes Talking Tech is proudly supported by Arlo. You've already heard us talking about our Arlo cameras and how we use them. We're deep in the ecosystem here. But you know what? Mother's Day is coming up. 20% off selected cameras. So I think a great time to look after mum.
Lovely.
So you can get the Essential 2K indoor camera. That's on offer here. The Essential 2 video doorbell. If you want to go even higher, the always on the go mum will like the Arlo Pro 5K. So you can still check in on the house in 2K and 4K resolution. The Arlo Go 2 as well. That is you can actually put a SIM card in that camera, and position it where there is no Wi-Fi. So maybe Trevor have it down near his boat or his holiday house where there's no Wi-Fi, so you can still keep an eye on it. I know a lot of builders have it on their building sites because there's no Wi-Fi there, but they want to keep an eye on their materials and everything, and they've got the Arlo Go-To there just so they make sure no one knocks off any stuff.
Yep.
But then there's also, too, the Arlo wired floodlight, which is what I've got to say, this is one of my favourite Arlo cameras.
Oh, mate.
The floodlight is a cracker.
Huge.
It lights up the whole area so well. You know that there's a light, and you know there's a camera when you're coming near that one. And the good news is that from the 5th of May to the 18th of May, you can get up to 20% off in recognition of Mother's Day. So why not look after mum or take advantage of this offer yourself? If you want to check it out, you can go to arlo.com.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech with Trevor Long and Stephen Fennick.
Now, I landed yesterday to phone calls asking me to comment on passwords and banks, and I thought, oh no, banks have been hacked, and I've landed. It wasn't as big a deal as it was as kind of some of the stories were made out, but there was essentially a report done where it said that there are 31,000 people's details being sold on the dark web and Telegram and different places exposing bank passwords. And it is a legitimate problem because it's literal bank passwords, and they broke it down by bank, and it runs in the order of bank size, CommBank first, etc. And what it is people's, logins, passwords, and the name of the bank. So, boom, they can log into your bank account. Yeah. But see, it's not the banks. The banks didn't get hacked. No dramas at all. The banks are fine. But these people, these 31,000 people, have had malware on their computers. And that malware has sniffed for passwords. It's taken the passwords. It's put them on, to the criminals, and they've sold them on the dark web.
Sold them on.
And, mate, you take these moments to just continue to remind people, guys, you got to have strong passwords. And I feel like for the first time in a long time, you got to have internet security. Like, do you remember 15, 20 years ago, it was like we got to have antivirus because you're getting viruses. There hasn't been a lot of talk about what viruses do now because we call it malware, and it sits on your computer. It doesn't lock you down. It doesn't kill everything. It just sits there, waiting, listening, sussing out information. And by the way, if you're one of those 31,000 people, they haven't just got your bank details. They've got whatever other password you had on your computer. Yeah. And also, 31,000 is unders. Yeah, right. There would be many more Australians who've fallen victim to some sort of malware. Yep. So if you haven't looked at a Trend Micro, a Norton, a McAfee, some sort of strong antivirus / internet security for your computer, you are mad.
Because you probably, like, the people think, well, how does malware get on there? I know, you click on things, you think, what happened there, and that's probably it. But also, too, you visit some websites that could be serving out the malware. If you don't have internet security software, you don't know that. Yeah. So you could be, I know I use Norton, and if I try to click on go to a site, it'll come down. If it's a dangerous website, this big gate comes down, say dangerous website, and it won't let you go there. So if you don't have that sort of protection, then that's a worry. And mate, that's alarming that malware can do that. Yeah, it can sniff all that stuff.
The malware can be sitting on your computer.
Wow. Waiting for you to type in a password.
Can't remember the name of the bloody thing, but essentially it's sitting there like ready.
There's a Trojan horse or something.
No, but there's an actual name for the style. Yeah. Just retaining your passwords because it's on your computer. It's in your system. It's a literal virus. I mean, we probably should go back to calling malware viruses. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's malicious software because you downloaded something, you did something, but it's a virus. Yeah. Like, we should be talking about viruses again.
The alarming thing is that I read a stat that 90% of all internet threats are scams. Yeah. So there's still 10% that are out there malware to sit in the background, and even though there's only 10%, there's still a lot. And if it can harvest passwords of more than what we're saying is well more than 31,000 people, then that's still a problem, and even more reason to get internet security software.
So the kind of point right now is, okay, if you're worried at all, check your bank. Check your bank statements. Check for any weird transactions. Secondly, change your bank password. It's a great opportunity, great time, great reminder. Daylight savings ended a little while ago. Change your banking password. I'm guilty of it. I think my banking password has been the same for several years. Yeah, time to change
mine too. I've got a two-factor thing happening there and fingerprint identification.
And look, the thing is, in reality, you could sit here thinking, like Stephen just did, you know what? I've got the fingerprint. I've got all this stuff. But if, like, I think about my bank, and if I gave out my password right now on this podcast, you could log in. You can see how much money I've got. good luck to you. But you couldn't transfer money because to transfer money to a new account, you would need my ANZ has a thing called Shield and CommBank has a thing, a notification in the app.
Netcode,
So there is that. That does exist, but there's people that don't have that set up. But also, I don't want someone knowing how much money I've got because that could be used to extort you. So even if imagine you got a screenshot texted to you, said, this is your bank details, I've got it. If you don't want me to share this with your friends, family, or whoever,
in the tax department,
send me, send me this information. Send me money.
Wow.
You could be extorted.
They'd have to do wide angle on your account, mate. A lot of zeros on that one.
No, mate, she's pretty empty right now.
Right.
Family holiday, and then I get back and here's your BAS statements. Thanks very much, everyone. Really, really great.
Thanks for that. Just kick me while I'm down. Whatever.
Yeah, in the balls too. Hit real hard.
But with banks too. Like I know that your login isn't your name or email; it's a number.
Yeah.
So that's another layer of security right there too.
It is, but what if that's been exposed through this malware?
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing. That's what this malware has obtained. This virus has obtained your login code and your password.
And is it presumptuous of me to assume that all these people, the malware got them on a Windows machine, or is it?
It is the primary source is a Windows machine. Yes.
Yeah. So I know there's a lot of Mac users listening to this right now, thinking,
"Not Bruce,
I'll be okay." But that's not
that's not true.
If you don't have security software, you're still susceptible to some. I know cyber criminals and scammers go for the biggest potential audience, which is Windows users, but there are still some Mac viruses out there, malware out there. But the other part of it, remember I said earlier that the scams are still prevalent as a part of the threat. So you being directed to a malicious site is still possible, even if you're a Mac user. And even the social engineering side of that, you'd be protected if you got internet security software.
And the point is, internet security software from all the companies, Norton, Trend Micro, McAfee, they're the three big ones. They're the three we'd recommend at any point in time. They cover multiple devices, tablets, phones.
What is it, 5 licenses? 5?
Mate, I think with Trend, you can go 10. Like you can just pay for whatever you want, whatever you need. Cover your devices, install it on your devices. Because, by the way, I haven't seen those Trumpeter Patriot because Trend Micro filters my spam. So they were in a different. I had to look for them in my phone.
Okay.
They were in a different inbox.
Yeah.
Because Trend Micro created a spam filter.
Yeah, right. And often, you know what, they do offer other features. Like in my Norton, I've got like a password manager, cloud storage, VPN. It's all part of the deal.
Yeah.
Worth having, people.
Change your passwords, folks. All right? Change your passwords. Two Blokes Talking Tech.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech with Trevor Long and Stephen Fennick.
Well, let's talk about this, Trev. This is the new laser charge core battery, which has a new LiFePO, which is lithium phosphate battery technology, which basically means it's much safer. It's safer than a lithium-ion battery. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah,
lighter?
So there is, it is. This is a 20,000 milliamp hour. And it's actually not that big. Like, compare that, right? Here we go. It's actually, that would be 5 years ago, that was the 10,000 size.
Consumer research. Well, that's the other thing. It's a smaller too. The amount of energy they can store is better. 1 hour and 2 minutes ago, I had 26% battery. Yep. I now have 66%.
Wow.
And this has gone from, I think it was on 98 to 70.
Wow.
So I've used 28% of this 10,000 milliamp hour laser charge core.
Well,
is that what it's called?
I had mine on. We both went on.
What's the brand name, Stephen?
It's Charge Core.
It is Charge Core.
Charge Core. It's on it.
Oh, it is too. There it is there.
Hello.
Welcome.
That's laser sub-brand.
I used 28% to get 40% of my battery.
Mate, I went from 80 to 100 already. That's done.
Boom.
Yeah.
How much did you use?
I'm down to 50. I used about
I feel like it was 15.
9%.
Oh, okay.
It was 68.
68.
Before. Yeah. So, 9%.
Great job.
Big display though, isn't it? Look at the size of that display.
It's a big area of display for a small amount of information.
There's just a little bit of the percentages just up here. See that?
I like having a battery percentage. I'm a big fan.
Oh, for sure. No,
the dots.
Yeah, that can only get you so far. But no, having a precise percentage. And interestingly, there is 2 USB-A ports
and 1C.
1C, and pull out the cord. The cord you get with it is a USB-A to a Lightning and USB-C. 2
USB-C and 1 USB Lightning.
2 USB-C and 1 Lightning. So that means you can charge your tablet, phone, and an iPhone, an older iPhone.
Is it intended to be charging them all at the same time, or just intended to be a really useful cord?
I think for both.
Yeah, right.
Both. Can it
Like
charge
your
two,
AirPods
can it
in your
charge
phone?
two phones at once?
Let's find out, Stephen.
Yeah.
Plug it in.
There you go.
Let's go.
Live demo.
Here we go. Boom.
Okay.
Charging.
You guys do it? Although I'm 100%, I don't think it's going to charge me too
Should
much.
still come up something.
Yeah.
Boom.
Wow.
Charging. Oh, hang on.
Oh,
I'm charging. You charging?
Yeah, I'm charging. Yeah.
Yeah, we're both charging.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm 100%, so it's not going to charge me.
Plug something else in. Jeez.
All good, mate. All good.
Oh, hang on.
I can charge your remote.
I don't think this will have a charging indicator on it, will it?
Yeah.
It does. It's flashing.
Boom.
Flashing red.
And so you're charging a USB-C product and your phone at the same time. So that could potentially be your iPad, iPhone.
Unbelievable.
Other devices.
The main thing is,
Did you have these on your holiday or what?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you had the...
I bought some other brand ones.
Okay.
LifePo technology, safer, longer lasting, and therefore outperforms lithium-ion alternatives.
Lifespan of up to 5,000 charge cycles.
That's a lot of cycles.
Wowee. So so what they call LifePo, which is lithium phosphate.
Mm-hmm.
So the other batteries out there is lithium ion and lithium polymer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So lithium ion has a risk of overheating, which is we've heard plenty about that recently. Whereas the LifePo, very safe, low risk, wide range of operating temperatures. Whereas lithium ion operates between 0 and 45 degrees. So, it gets a touch warm.
Yep.
And the other advantage of the LifePo is it's long-lasting and a reliable power source. So,
Very cool.
I think the positioning of this as being a safer type of battery is smart because it's there's no cobalt, nickel, lead, nothing under there. Safer choice for the environment. So fully recyclable too at the end of its life cycle.
Also, $69.95 for a 20,000 milliamp hour.
$70.
$29.95 for the 5,000 milliamp hour. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people have heard us talk about laser over the years, right? They're just an Aussie brand doing their best. They find great products and they bring them to Australia, right? Yep. Under their own brand names. I just want to give you an example of a laser product that shocked me in an amazingly good way, right?
Yes.
Okay, go.
Is it the tracker?
No.
The AirTag?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
A big fan.
Yeah.
I bought 17 of the bloody things before we went away. But my Cooper does not have wireless Apple CarPlay.
Damn.
Right? So when I first bought it, I bought a one from Quadlock, plugged it in, and it worked very good. But my car does this weird thing where it takes like 5 minutes before it really boots up and connects to anything Apple CarPlay. Okay. Anyway, I gave the Quadlock one to a mate of mine who was having troubles diagnosing the problem with his CarPlay. It turns out it was the cable, and he's kept that one, hasn't given it back to me. Yeah. So, a caller on the EFTM podcast a month ago had a certain car and it was having troubles with everything. And I said, mate, I think Laser make one. I'll get him to send it to you. They sent it to him. And he says, mate, this thing's unbelievable.
Is it the screen?
No, it's just a little adapter. So you plug it into your USB port and it creates wireless Apple CarPlay. Yep. He said, mate, it's really quick to connect and everything. I was like, oh. So I rang Chris and said, mate, this bloke's so happy. Yeah. And so he sent me one. Mate, it's unbelievable. It
solved your problem.
It's a tiny little thing. I get in the car. Apple CarPlay is basically working immediately. Mate, it is so good.
I bought one of them for Joe, not the laser one. I bought one of them for her. I just went on them. I didn't even know Laser made it. I would have bought it off Laser otherwise.
Go and buy the laser one.
Yeah.
And I bet you it's better than the Amazon one you got.
Wow, okay. Yeah, because hers works really well.
So impressive.
Oh, mate, I'll give it a crack.
Anyway, they make good stuff.
If you're listening.
He just wants a freebie.
I'll buy it, mate.
Some of us just go to your website and buy stuff.
How much is it?
Some of us just
I'll
go to
buy
their
it
website.
right now. How much is it?
Let's buy it right now. Laser Co. Apple CarPlay wireless. Good content. All right, okay. Wireless. 7-inch. No, not that one. Here we go. Laser. It's a JB Hi-Fi for $79.
Ah.
And it's a tiny little USB stick. This big.
Okay.
This big.
Oh, that's it there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tiny.
79. I'll go down to JB and get it.
So good.
Fantastic.
Really good product.
Fantastic.
Anyway, that's just an endorsement of the great people at Laser. They make good things. These are beautiful batteries. Very good. Happy days.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a little story about this one. I used this because Trevor's been away for a few weeks, so I hadn't prepared a movie podcast for a while.
Yes.
And I normally read off my script on an iPad. And because you're away, it just sat there for 2 weeks out of charge. I went, oh, damn, I've got to have this powered up. So while I was waiting to go, I charged it at home. And then I'm thinking, so I brought this along and charged it on the drive.
Yeah.
And I got here and it had like 85% charge on it. So
Boom.
I'm thinking, there you go.
Problem solved.
Great real-world example of the usage of this battery.
Well done. All right, you can find the new Charge Core products. Where are they selling them?
They are, good question, Trev. Just as I put it away.
Well, they often sell
Everywhere.
at Harvey Norman, but they're certainly on their website, laserco.com.au.
Is it .com
and
or
yes,
.net?
they sell Charge Core products at Harvey Norman. I don't know if the new range are in there yet, but they will be, I'm sure.
And that's reasonably priced too. $70
Mate,
for the
great
20,000. That's
price.
great. $49.95 for the 10,000. $29.95 for the 5,000.
Very good price. There are some Charge Core products at Big W, so expect them to land in all the big retailers soon.
Yeah, but make sure you
Details.
look for the LifePo, the lithium
Yes.
phosphate.
Yes.
It'll be. Is it on it?
It's
Or
not.
You can see it says Charge Core, but on the back it says it.
Okay, take your word for it.
Pretty sure.
Anyway, you can read more details at EFTM.com and techguide.com.au.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech with Trevor Long and Stephen Fennick.
All right, for a first show, it was pretty good.
Not bad, mate, for your first one.
Got
back,
some
you know.
cobwebs, because
There
some cobweb
was
issues there.
Some re-entry issues there with the stings and everything.
The
but
re-entry
that's okay.
burn was off. Our trajectory was
fine.
down.
We'll be fine. And you went to Houston too, didn't you?
Yeah.
We'll be hearing all about that in the private feed.
Very good. All right. Thanks again to Val Quinn from gadgetguy.com.au for
Yes.
filling in over the last couple of weeks. Gave me great ability to literally switch off, mate. So I appreciate it. And to all the people who emailed me saying that it wasn't as good a show, look, I'm back, okay?
Yeah, good on you.
It didn't happen.
Good
I
on
didn't
ya.
get a single email, which is quite demoralising, to be honest.
Yeah, you might be hearing about all the radio I've covered for you and how much the quality just went up to another level. But
Mate,
anyway,
if they want to call you from now on,
fine.
you've got his number.
Whoa, okay.
Won't impact
No,
my
thanks.
bank balance at all.
Yeah, so me
Or
neither.
yours.
Me neither. Yeah, that's right.
All right, mate. See you
See
next
you,
week.
buddy.
Everything about tech you never wanted to know. This is Two Blokes Talking Tech.